What do you think, Hanako? What do you say, Hanako? Oh God, hold on a minute. I'm back. What do you say, Hanako? If we help out, it shouldn't take too long at all. Hanako fidgeting answers my question before she can even form the words. I really need to go. Well, that was to be expected. Looks like it's just me and the council girls again. Oh dear God, no. It's easier to resign myself to another afternoon's work in a small council office. I'll catch up with you later, okay? Okay. Right. Now that the farewells are over, it's work time. Please, Phase. Oh God, ugly picture saved me. Misha and Shizune frog marched me to the student council office, never once letting go of my shoulders. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if this is the price of getting Misha off my back, so be it. So, then, what are we up to today? Debrief! Huh? Isn't that supposed to happen after something? Yep. We have to collate all is our word. We have to collect all the information from the festival so that Shi-chan can debrief the teachers. That should be collect. I swear it's gotta be collect. Collect. Fuck off. Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles. I have no somethingly. You need to sort those out into 2 piles. I am going to kill you. One for the financial stuff, like receipts. One for the feedback. One for positive feedback. Maybe one things that look like they could be problems next year. One for problems that probably won't be able to be fixed. That's a few more than 2 piles. Dear God, she's making me slur or something. Huh? Oh right, yeah, I thought it would be only 2 piles. My bad. Right, while I'm doing this, what will you two be doing? Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all of these reports, so we're going to get some food. Damn you! Why didn't you just sort them out while you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my mouth and further worsening my situation. Eh? How is that fair? What? I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much that I didn't notice that Shizune had kept on signing. If it weren't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. Wait. Shizune seems to be delivering a fairly long string of commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Huh? Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune and then sits down at the desk next to me. Shizune waves to both of us before disappearing out the door. What was all that about? She ditched her. Shi-chan was worried that you'd get it all wrong unless you were supervised. And since she can't tell you how you are messing things up, she's making me stay. Ah, bummer. I wanted to go with Shi-chan. But she is going to bring us back some food. I doubt that. How good is that? Horrible. Misha's flippancy is out of this world. From down in the dumps to on top of the world over some calories. It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at that level. Well, it could have been worse. So, what are we supposed to be doing? Collation. So collate is a word? I gathered that. Well, let's just start making piles. We'll work out what the piles mean later. Right. We start to separate all the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it just it's just simple categories: financial, feedback, incident reports. Then they split apart into good and bad reports, and further still, until it starts to look like we've just thrown the papers onto the desk. This is hopeless. Huh? Why? We're doing what we were told, right? Yes, but it looks like we're just making a mess. No, I think we got a lot done. Shi-chan will be able to work out the rest in here. Thank God, can I go now? So I think we can stop about here then. It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room and meet with Shizune. Still, there's no point in arguing. Anyway, what's the deal with you and Hanako? Deal? You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? Have there been any fireworks, any gossip that you're withholding from me? If I told you about my own circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it? I guess not. We're just friends, I guess. Why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her. It's not really like that. You know, Shi-chan and Lily don't get along well. And since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we don't talk to her much. But that doesn't mean that I can't be concerned for her. What is there to be concerned about? Well, she never hangs out with anyone else, right? It's no good, He-chan. If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, then I hate to think how Misha and Hanako would get along. Oh dear God. I mean, in one way or the other, we're all in the same boat here, right? Well, I guess. This one time, when she left class halfway through, Shi-chan went to the teacher and asked what was going to be done about it. He said that every student here has special needs, and that Shi-chan shouldn't worry herself about it. Hanako never does any group work, she just runs off. Isn't that enough to be concerned about? I guess you're right. She still hardly says a word when we're talking. Well, that's more than I have been able to do. Shi-chan and I both tried when she started, but she got scared and ran off. I considered telling Misha that exactly the same thing happened with me, but she seems caught up in it though. In thought. Listening to Misha without Shune's influence is interesting. Well, look at this. Your emotions will be shown to me very soon. I think she needs to realize that people here don't care what she looks like, and that she can trust us. Oh, if she could, I'd feel a lot better about her. I think this is the longest I've watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Shizune, she is constantly waving her hands about, explaining the world to Shizune. That amount of effort probably places a strain even on an agile mind. And let's face it, Misha isn't the world's brightest spark. Well, I'll keep an eye on her for you. But you should probably apologize for earlier. I don't think Hanako is cut out for that kind of joke. Oh! I didn't even notice. Sorry. Don't say it to me, just mention it to her. Alright, first thing tomorrow, I'll speak to her. Good. Ooh, dear. That Minecraft thing has got me on edge, dear lord. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune. I guess she can't really tell how much noise she is making. Oh yeah. Oh, Shi-chan, you're back. Shizune appears completely laden with goods from the convenience store. ... Mild face. There was some surplus left from the festival. Since this is officially festival business, I splurged a little. Nice idea, Shi-chan. 10 points. Wait, what? Who said that? She did? Is that really allowed? Oh God. For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to take an unhealthy interest in the politics of this council. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portions on the fest. of the feast. Fine, I get it. She scares me. And when she said punish, I did have a filthy thought. I'm not afraid to admit it. Well, you did, come on. Misha slides the multiple stacks of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune is spreading out. As I watch my hard yet misdirected work become wasted, I realize that it's little wonder why these two need help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasty, but at the very least, it's filling. ... smiley face. Thanks for helping today. Most of the time, we just make up the reports for the staff. This year we can at least make up some relevant headings on the debrief. Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization? I will strain myself. Not at all. We're by the book. It's not our fault if the book isn't specific enough. She found a loophole. Or rather, Shizune did. Who said that? I thought that was a definition of corruption. You think too much. You know what? You're probably right. Anyway, I must be off. That is, if I'm allowed to leave. ... Laughter, probably. Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave. Well, thank you. Your gratitude is inspiring. You know, if you stressed the free meal side of things over the endless workload side, you'd probably end up with more recruits. You might just have a point. Well, think about it. And think about what we talked about. You don't have to tell that to Shizune if you don't want. What? Oh right, I'll try to see you tomorrow. Good night, Ichan. Night, Misha. Shizune. Katawa Shoujo. Do. My cheers and squeaking, which is surprising. Chirping birds. Chirp, chirp. Normally this would be a good time to reflect upon the beauty of nature. There's nothing beautiful about nature. It's vicious. Most of the time. But it's 6 a.m., dear God. Covering my... Jesus Christ, I probably had a heart attack then. Covering my head with the pillow, I slam my face into the mattress, hoping that the impact will send me instantly back to sleep. Futile. I toss and turn, but sleep simply won't return to me. Alright, nature, you've won. See? I'm getting up now. You may have won the battle, but you have not won the war. A lack of sleep weighs my mind down, and there's only one remedy of this. A nice, hearty breakfast. It would be nice to be the first person here. To be the first to dig into a piping hot pile of food to sit wherever I desire. It would have been nice. But even my exceptionally early start has put me behind the most diligent students. I guess there are quite a few people that have early starts here, for one reason or another. A group of students in sports clothes huddle around a table, eagerly discussing game plans in between inhaling great gulps of food. Scattered around the hall and on a number of barely-eyed students, probably suffering from the same ailment as myself. Noisy birds. And of course there are the people that actually enjoy getting up this early. Impossible. The ones with their bags stuffed with textbooks and completed homework. It's hard to not despise people like that, even more so when you're tired yourself. Picking out a familiar face from the thin crowd, I head towards the nearest table. Lily sits alone, delicately feeling her way around a small plate of eggs with her fork. It's almost a shame to interrupt her and her clockwork movement. I wonder, is this how blind a blind person zones out, simply moving in predetermined patterns learned over the years, just like how a sighted person would eat while reading a newspaper. Good morning, Lily. I didn't expect you to be here this early. Oh, Xaydam, you startled me. I didn't know you took breakfast this early. I don't. This is an exception to the rule. I'd greatly prefer to be late to school than early to breakfast. Lily gives a small sigh at my admitted tardiness as I begin eating my food. It doesn't take long before her to slaps back into her previous mindless nibbling. Jesus Christ, what? Each short motion lacks energy. I suppose this is similar to letting your eyes wander while performing any ordinary chore. But after a few repetitions of the find food eats food cycle, Lily puts down her fork and dabs her lips with a napkin. So, do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh dear God, why do I get the feeling this is about to get serious? Damn, all I want is a little food and about 4 hours of sleep, and nobody says, can I ask you a question, for a simple reason. Sure. Do you think of Hanako as a friend? Huh? This seems like a leading question. I knew it. I guess so. Why do you ask? No real reason. Damn you! I do have another question though. Why is it that you think of her as a friend? This is well above my level. What is she expecting from me? I'm not really sure. I guess it's because she's a little different in the way she deals with people. Since I've known her, she hasn't really connected with anyone. My God, my voice is cracking. She doesn't seem interested in other people, and I think people are a little scared of her by her appearance. Really? I thought that kind of thing was, well, discouraged here, discriminating and such. If I were to put it in one way, she furrows her brow in thought, a move which makes me slightly anxious as to what she's plucking from her mind. I'd say that you're a little naive, I beg your pardon. Naive? I'd be insulted if not for the slightly cynical grin on her face. I see. While Yamaku has a stronger sense of community compared to other schools, it's far from being free of conflict. Rules cannot remove human nature. After all, only suppresses it. After all, it only suppresses it. That's something I've noticed, actually. Just little things like housing people and, avoid cliches. Cliches avoid each other in the hallways. It's no different than my own school. Old school, really. Even Lily and Shizune could be considered bitter rivals, even though they both seem like fairly accepting people. Well, at least the Misha tinted Shizune does. Who knows what actually goes on with her fingers and behind her glasses? I guess you're right, but when I first came here, everything was a bit of a shock. I kept on making mistakes, or at least thinking I was making mistakes. Like when we first met, I said I see to you. I didn't know if that was considered rude or anything, so I tried to just put it in the back of my mind, treating people any differently and that kind of thing. So I didn't. I told myself that Hanako and you and everyone else was just normal, and I tried to ignore the obvious. I talked to Hanako as if she were any other person, and so we became friends. At least, that's how I think it happened. But I feel guilty, just from saying something like that aloud, as if it took extra effort to think of Hanako, or you, or anyone here as normal people. I don't think that's right. So, I think you are naive, but I also think that you're a good person. It is perhaps one of your better traits. I suppose I can take that as a compliment. Tell me, are you free tonight? If you don't count homework, then I'm free as a breeze. My god, we get asked out by